So what would you say is like a top hot tip or two to making a key charcuterie board?
You've got to get the salami rows down. It is all about the salami rows. And all you really need.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Private Club Radio. I'm your host, Denny Corby. Let's get started. Hello everybody, Denny Corby here. Welcome back to another episode of Private Club Radio. We have another exciting episode this week with a couple different segments. So we're going to have a couple different people on here, a couple different guests. First off, I'm going to talk about another cool experience that I had of customer service. I did one last week about a bottle of water. This one will be a time I was hired for a conference and was just treated like absolute royalty. I'll tell you some more details about that. It was just little simple things that just went such a long way. And, obviously every show, we give 150%, but, I probably gave 152% just because of what they did. So, we're going to be reminded of just really how powerful, exceptional customer service can be and really how it can create a lasting impression on people. We also have our friend Mark Riccadonna, comedian, who's going to share with us some jokes that you can tell around the club. Then we're going to continue our chat with Mr. Michael Gutenplan on how to get more attendees to your member events, how to get butts in seats. And our person of the hour, we have Melissa Hansen, the director of marketing and membership at the club at Old Cypress in Florida. And on the show, it's going to be, we're super excited to have her on here. She has well over a decade of experience in the hospitality industry. She's an education junkie and super eager to share her knowledge with us here on the show. So make sure you tune in as we discuss the power of personalization in membership sales, the importance of front-of-mind marketing, and even some tips on how to get the perfect salami roll rows for your charcuterie board. So whether you're looking for some inspiration or practical advice, this episode has something for everyone. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of Private Club Radio. Right now, I'm going to bring on Mr. Mark Riccadonna, comedian, really good friend of mine. This laughter segment is sponsored by me, Denny Corby. I do a stand-up comedy magic show primarily for private clubs. I also have The Club Entertainers, which is me, Mr. Michael Gutenplan, and Mark Riccadonna. We all teamed up together. We all do amazing shows, and we all primarily work in the private club world, and we know how important really great entertainment is specifically for the private club. So our shows are specifically designed for the private club world. So if you're interested for a really fun member event night, reach out and we will get you hooked up with the best entertainment, whether it's me, Mr. Michael Gutenplan with his mind reading show, my show, The Denny Corby Experience, or The Laugh Pack, which is me and Mark Riccadonna for a fun evening of stand-up comedy and magic. Now, Mark, take it away.
Old man goes grocery shopping with his wife, and he puts a peach in his pocket. He's not thinking. He put 2 peaches in his pocket, and he's doing something. And as they go to walk out, the security guard comes over. He goes, "Sir, can you come with us?" And she goes, is there a problem? And he goes, "Just come with us." "Oh, God, what did my husband do? Oh, my God, he's a criminal." They go, "Listen, he has 2 peaches in his pockets. We're going to arrest him." And the woman's just going off. Her wife's going, "Oh, my God, I'm married to a criminal. He's a criminal. He's a criminal. I can't believe it." Guy goes in, goes to the judge, walks up. The judge goes, "What'd you steal?" And he goes, "I had 2 peaches in my pockets. And, I wasn't thinking, and I walked out." And the judge goes, "You seem like a nice guy." And the woman's in the back of the courthouse going, "Oh, my God, my husband, he's a criminal. Horrible criminal. I can't believe it. I'm married to a criminal." The judge goes, "Okay, there's only 2 peaches. I'll tell you what, you do 2 days in jail, 1 for each peach. That'll be your punishment." And as the woman is going off about how, "Oh, my husband is such a horrible criminal," he turns and goes, "Hey, did I tell you about the can of peas I stole?" Here's a quick one. All right, who's your best friend, your wife or your dog? If you're questioning it, you throw your wife and your dog in the trunk of your car. You go for a 2-hour drive, pull over, pop the trunk of the car, and see which one's happy to see you.
Thanks, Mark. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and we'll share that with some people around the club, some staff, some people, some members. I always love laughter and jokes and stuff, and who doesn't? Laughter always breaks the ice. Now, I want to share another cool customer experience, and I'll make this quick. It was something that was so little personally, but it went such a long way. So 2019, I was very fortunate to close out Scale Up Summit, which is put on by business expert Mr. Vern Harnish. He wrote the book Scaling Up. Absolutely phenomenal, man. I got invited to come perform and close out the Scale Up Summit. It had the most incredible speakers. It was unreal. I still can't believe that they had me come in. So from the absolute beginning, the customer service the experience that they gave me was unreal. So not all the time, but once in a while, a car service will come pick me up depending on the client. So they had a nice car service come pick me up with a nice sign from the hotel. I was welcomed on arrival. When we showed up to the hotel, the driver welcomed me again and then handed me my room key and little packet of information. So I don't have to wait in line or go check in. I was pre-checked in. I was able to go straight up to my room. Now, when I got to my room, this is a common thing, a nice little welcome basket. It was a nice little handwritten note from Vern Harnish himself, a really nice charcuterie board, which is funny because we're going to be talking more about that later. They had a bottle of wine, some beers, some waters. And the coolest part, this part got me. This was one of those, you're like, well done. I bow to them. When I went over to the bed, they had custom pillowcases made. So I looked down and on the bed were pillowcases that said Corby, my last name. Wow. That just, I don't want to say took my breath away, but just such a nice little touch that just made me feel so welcome and happy to be there. Just the fact that they took that time to have pillowcases embroidered too, not just screen printed. It was embroidered. So that was just a really cool moment of customer experience. And hopefully that just gets your mind going of maybe something that you can do that's really small that can be customized, embroidered, or just one way to make a cool experience. So hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I did. All right, now let's continue our conversation about getting members to your club for your member events. Please welcome back Michael Gutenberg.
No, yes, I was just going to say that we got to get you on your other call, but going back real quick to testimonial or videos, watching multiple and doing a little bit of research. I will not name names, but I've seen a video clip of somebody killing it on America's Got Talent. But if you watch the original clip, they got booed off stage.
Ooh.
Like 3X's boot off stage, but on their video, it's standing ovations on AGT and all this stuff. And I'm like, really interesting.
My favorite. This is why you need to. You're spending a lot of money on an entertainer. Do your work. Do your research. I went to a website of someone and it said, as seen on America's Got Talent. And I'm going, I like to keep up with the Joneses here. I don't remember this person performing. Maybe, and they were in the background walking by the camera. Technically, they were on America's Got Talent, but they were like in the background of like a cut, didn't make it to air scene. And I was like, A+ for your marketing. I say go for it, but be wary. Is that the person you want to work with? I say take out any sort of TV appearance. Those are edited. Those are cut. It doesn't mean you shouldn't watch them and say, oh, this person's as seen on TV. But really trust your instincts and, you want to be as safe as possible. Book person who's done private clubs, verifiably. I mean, if they have a website that is dedicated to magic for private clubs, that's a good start. But I also think that there's the other factor, which is references from your other managers. It says a lot that if someone says, hey, we're looking for a magician, I say go with Denny. And if someone says to Denny, we're looking for a mentalist, he says go with Denny. But no, he says go with me. But there is or if you say, hey, Denny, we're looking for a comedian, someone like Denny who has a Rolodex of people that he's in essence verified and says, I know this person's going to do a good job. Use that. Don't be afraid to call someone you've worked with in the past and say, we loved you. We want to do something different this year. Do you have a recommendation? The best thing we can do for our business is keep your event strong. So use the people that you've worked with, use the people that you've started a relationship with. And I'm saving this to the end because if you've watched this long, shame on you. But if you've watched this long, I'll give you one final piece of advice. And that is going back to earlier. I was saving this because, you got to get something if you've watched this long. If you get the cost and you say, we can't do it. And that's a legit, sometimes we can't make that work. We can't cut that. It's just never going to happen. Call up the performer or the booker and say, hey, here's our budget. Here's the numbers we can do. We'll put you up for 2 nights, but we can't do a penny over this. You'd be really surprised how there are ways to make it work. In my case, maybe I'm in the area and I say, you know what, if you can do it on this night and put me up for a night or two at a local place or at your club's lodgings, you know what, let's do it. But a no ends the conversation. Let's figure out how to make this work gives your members an incredible experience. And they don't need to know what happened. They don't need to know that it was a bargain or something. They just need to know that it happened. So turn the no into a, hey, how can we make this work? And if you can afford it, you're going to get more than, I never half-ass it. I would never say you paid less, so you're getting less. But I am going to make sacrifices. You're going to have to do it on my date. The show isn't going to have the bells and whistles in the sense of, well, at every, I do this at the full show. You're going to get, a 45-minute show instead of the hour. You get what you pay for, but you don't get what you pay for in terms of quality. You will always get top quality, no matter what you pay. You will possibly get a shorter show. You will possibly get it not on the best date that you had hoped for, but never, ever, ever be afraid to call the performer or send them an email and say, hey, let's work something out.
You know what? I think that is the perfect way to end it. Mr. Gutenplan, it is always a pleasure when you and I talk. I know you have another call to get to.
If you want to book me,
longer.
Well, if you want to book me, this is where I say you can actually reach out to Denny. Give him the commission. You can reach out to Denny, or you can go to my website, themembersonlyshow.com. And when you send me an email, let me know that you're coming specifically from watching this show so that I can still send you to Denny.
It's one of those, as long as we keep it in the family, it's as long as somebody gets it, it's, yeah. But, and then just going back real quick, it is hard to find people who you can trust. There are a lot of people, entertainer people go like, one who just called you, who I sent you. She's like, hey, we need someone like you, like someone. And I'm like, okay. Like now it's, how many times have you probably recommended people who have maybe done a good job or, and then all of a sudden they're like, he was okay. And you're like, ugh. So yeah, it's when the client reached out, she was like, hey, we need somebody. And I sent like one or two. And then I was like, she was like, I'm like, I know the perfect guy then. So yeah.
But it is, I'm always humbled and surprised when I'll say, I can't do the show. Can I recommend someone? And they go, no, we wanted you. And I go, why?
Mm.
And what it is that other thing. Anybody can go by the tricks. Anybody can, figure it out they can't figure it out. That's the point of the show. But anybody can learn to do magic or mind reading. You can't teach pizzazz. You can't teach, I know a lot of mind readers, and they all wear black turtlenecks. And are very serious. I am in a blue sparkly suit with my Louboutin crystal studded shoes, and I am jumping up and down and so excited. That is what you are paying for. You are not paying for me going, pineapple. You can get anybody to do that at a real cheap rate. But nobody leaves my show going, that was good. They leave my show going, that was the most fun, incredible thing we've ever seen. And I'd rather the fun and incredible to be before, and he was really, I can't figure anything out. That's the least important thing. And I hope I get to give that to your members. It's 100% worth your cost, your energy, and your risk. And I acknowledge that there is risk there.
I am so excited to bring on our next guest. I got to sit down with the wonderful Melissa Hansen, the Director of Marketing and Membership at Old Club at Cyprus, also the founder of melissahansen.com, where she provides tremendous value and has some really cool, different, unique products on there that you can use in your club to help get your membership and marketing on track. You know, it's one of those, even if it is on track, there's still always a little value nugget that you can pick up from anybody. So I'm not going to waste any more time. We have an amazing episode with Melissa Hansen, and my favorite part is you are going to learn how to make the perfect salami rose/roll for your charcuterie board. That's like one of the worst words. I can barely spell it, let alone say it. But ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Melissa Hansen. I love personalization, customization. That's really, to me, that's huge. Just in all businesses, really. It's because it's such an I don't want to say easy thing, but it doesn't take too much effort to do like little tiny things. You know, like Starbucks, they're known for it. Just like the name on the cup, it's just to feel, oh, Denny is your. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and one of the examples that we were talking about in the class was, are you familiar with Total Wine?
No,
you don't have. Where are you based out of?
Pennsylvania.
Okay, so Total Wine is a big chain down here. I think they have them all over the country, but it's like a ABC Liquor. I don't know if you have any of this, but anyway.
So Pennsylvania is all state owned.
Oh.
So we don't have, we have, you can have independent beer stores and wine stores, but liquor is all through the state. So we get really good deals on wine through our liquor store because Pennsylvania is one of the largest wine buyers in the whole world because they buy for the whole state. So they have a monopoly. Like it's
awesome. I didn't know that.
No, it's not awesome.
Well, if you come down to Florida, and you're welcome anytime, if you drop into Total Wine, they will have a picture of employees next to different bottles of wine, and it will say Jen's pick, Frank's pick, and then they'll have a little blurb next to it. You know, this is the most fabulous full body wine. You know, it's best paired with XYZ. And you really feel that sense of personalization when you're going in there. Like, I don't know Jen or, who she is, but she's recommending this wine. It's like, hello, that's the wine that I'm going to purchase. And we were talking about that in the personalization masterclass, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, we could totally bring that in to the club space. How cool would it be if you had your general manager's picture? This is his favorite wine, your food and beverage, even your golf pro who somebody loves,
servers, your behind the scenes people, like it could be anything. It just helps create that. Like, oh, I didn't know, I'm not saying anything. I used to be a cleaner back in the day, but like, oh, the guy who cleans the shoes likes, it's just like, oh my God, it just creates that bond.
Yeah. And the conversation piece, right? So say, like you're saying, it was the locker room attendant's favorite wine. The next time they're down, they can say, Bob, I tried your wine and it was excellent, or XYZ. It's just something else to talk about except for, oh, look at the weather outside today,
I was talking with Gabe. I don't know when this is going to air, but I was doing my interview with Gabe, the passing of the torch, and we were talking about different stuff he's doing, and he's doing these
Ireland trips, going over there and golfing, and he just came back. And I was like, what's like some like the like what makes it so much better? Because he was saying how the experience was amazing. And I said, what made it so amazing? And he was, telling us different things, but the one club he mentioned, he goes, it was such a small little piece. He goes, so when we finished the round, so we went there, signed up, did everything. As we left, they gave us each ball markers engraved with our name.
Oh.
And he goes, all they probably have was like a little machine in the back, a little computer program. As soon as we like sign in, register, we're going to be out there for a couple hours. So like, there's no rush. But he goes, as soon as we left, hey, thanks for coming here. Here's a personalized ball marker.
Right.
And he's like, I never want to use it because I don't want to lose it. But he goes, this is just the coolest, littlest, smallest thing that just meant the world.
And you're so right. I mean, like you're saying with personalization, we are becoming accustomed to it because we're seeing it every day, whether it's Netflix picking out, what movie is good for us, whether it's Amazon recommending, the next products that we need to purchase. We as consumers are, we're getting used to that. So I feel like that really needs to be brought into the club space. And like you said before, it's not rocket science, but it just takes a moment to like kind of gather these ideas and put them on paper.
It takes a little bit of effort.
A little effort.
What are some things you see clubs doing in terms of personalization that they maybe shouldn't be? All right, because I know personalization could be good and bad. Are there things that maybe are too personal?
That is a good question. A question that I get a lot is with the social media where people often ask, did you get your members' approval to post all their photos on social media? And there's a lot of clubs that are kind of scared to do so. That's kind of a hot topic. You hear about it a lot, but I always post and then ask for forgiveness later. I mean, I've been at my club for 12 years and literally in 12 years, I have had one social media post that somebody asked me to take that picture down of them. But that is a big concern with a lot of clubs when it talks about that is just getting a little bit too personal on the club's social media channels.
I was a member of a club up here in Pennsylvania, and they just had like a private Facebook group, and they just put like all the photos in there. So like still like social, but it was behind this closed wall that you had at least be like a member to like be behind it.
Yes. Yeah, that's for some clubs that are more on the traditional side, at the end of the day, all of our members have this with them, right? They all have their phones with them. So they're using social media as a means of communication. And so I think it's important for clubs to be able to promote certain events, both via email and via social. But if it's your club that is more of the traditional route where they don't want people knowing everything, you can definitely do a private group.
What are some of the cooler, more unique personalization things? Like we were talking about those little ball markers. Anything else kind of cool little stuff that you've seen or heard clubs do that you're like, oh, that is so easy and so good?
Yeah, so I have two. So first, I'm going to shout out my friend Ben Lorenzen at Champions Run in Nebraska. He is awesome. And I just saw him post this on LinkedIn, but I love this. He has a cell phone that is the club's cell phone. And he took a video with him and his assistant welcoming the new member to the club and sending it to the new members via text. Right? We can all do that. How easy is it? But it just said, hey, welcome to the club. We're so excited to have you, and create memories and things like that. Sent it off. And then his response, the members were so excited. They're like, oh my God, we're so excited. And this just made our day. And that's what it's about, is this just made our day. That's why we join a club. So definitely have to give him a shout out with that. I loved that idea, and it cost him nothing. And then one of the things that we've been doing at the club here for years is we use a company called Birdie Box. So for all of our new members that come in, or referring members, we create a personalized gift for them that gets delivered to their house. So it's a beautiful box, and it has our logo on the box. And on their website, I get to fill it with things that I know that that member likes.
Ooh.
So if somebody joins the club and they're a golfer, I can fill it with golf items. If somebody joins and they're more of a wine enthusiast, I can do that. You can personalize the box. And then in addition to that, you get to write a little letter to them. And the letter gets placed inside of the box and then it's delivered to their home. So not only is there this huge element of surprise, they weren't joining it, or they weren't expecting it, but it's that personalized touch.
That makes me so happy. I love stuff like that. Ugh, so good. And it's funny that you said that the club cell phone. To me, that's like worth the price of like admission right there. That is such an easy thing to do. I think we take granted for. I was just having a talk right before this and with another club professional about just kind of more of the sales side and things like that. And, just how quick to respond to people and how long some people take to respond because they're trying to seem busy or like, oh, we're very important, so we're going to wait a day or two to respond. Whereas me, if someone contacts me for a show, the first thing I do is when they're if it's through like the website forms, I take the phone number, I put their phone number into my text message. If it comes up blue, immediately I will text. If it's green, then I don't want to text them anyway because who still has Android? No, I'm kidding. Sorry, Android people. But no, you just don't know if it's a landline or not. But I'll immediately, if it turns blue, just to get that acknowledgement. And sometimes if I'm traveling or driving, doing whatever, I'll do a quick video sometimes like, hey, sorry, I just got your thing through. I just wanted to let you know I'm going to be on the road for like 3 hours, so I can't really talk, or I can't really, hey, I just wanted to say, hey, we could talk soon. Just that little bit, just now it puts a name to the face. It creates that engagement.
Love it. Absolutely love their marketing, their creativity, and the fact that they showcase people behind the product. And I would do anything just to spend a day with their marketing team and just to like hear the behind the scenes stuff. But when it comes to their printed catalog that they put out, their Christmas catalog, their social media, they really find a way to personalize everything. And we pull a lot from drawing inspiration from Vineyard Vines. So
why do you think that is? Like, why do you think they are a little bit better than a different brand? How do you think they, where's your headspace at there? Like what draws you in? Like what about their catalogs? Like what makes you go like, yes, Vineyard Vines compared to Polo?
Yeah. Well, that's a great question because I think mostly when I look at Vineyard Vines, I see our members. The people that are in the catalogs, the people that they're using to model and on the website, those look like the members of our club. And so I know that if I revolve our marketing and our, visual brand on what our actual members look like, that's going to resonate with our audience.
In terms of marketing and different ideas and things for clubs, a lot of them do good things well, bad things well. There's stuff that we all probably do that we shouldn't, but we just do it because it's like quote unquote normal. What do you see, different things that clubs do that they probably should stop or just not do at all?
Yeah, definitely. I think that marketing to the masses is probably a big mistake. I think you really need to narrow down and target each of your market, whether you are marketing to prospective members and you're looking to market your club to either a junior or a senior member. Obviously, if you're creating an email campaign or some sort of drip campaign for that, what you're delivering to the senior member should be different than what you're delivering to the junior member. So really targeting that audience is key. And I think that we should draw that into when we're doing our internal communications within the club, right? Because so many of our clubs, they'll range from, we have members here in their 20s to members that are in their 80s. And I think that communication portion shouldn't be the same to those people because different things matter. So really honing in on what the interests are of the particular membership, their demographics, and then making sure that those communications are the ones they receive, I think is key.
What are some easy things that clubs should be doing, but they aren't in terms of their marketing?
I think
No, and like, so here's like my head's at is like, the same thing. Like, what are just some easy, simple things that, for example, like handwritten note, super easy. A lot of people don't do it, but hey, if you do it, it can mean X, Y, and Z. Like, what are just some really easy, simple, tactile things that clubs can do, but they just don't, that can really make a big impact on their current marketing?
I honestly think email campaigns is the biggest one. That is what I'm most of a fan about, is generating a lead database. So having a CRM system in which you track all of those prospective members at the club, but then more importantly, that you're sending them an email every month to create the FOMO. And there's so many clubs that I work with that say, Melissa, we're not allowed to market our club to anyone. I'm not asking you to market, but create the fear of missing out. Inform your prospective member database. This is something that we took on probably about 5 years ago. And I will only send one email per month because that's about all that I can handle. Because from one email alone, I will have 40 prospective members write back that they have interest in touring the club, or people that join just because we're top of mind. If you think about, if you're at a club that's in a market that is oversaturated, like we are here in Naples, Florida, we have 100 different clubs. You just drive down one road and there's 15. That prospective member probably made an inquiry at more places than just your club. And typically when they made that inquiry, they're not exactly ready to join at that moment. And so really staying top of mind is so important. And at the end of the day, email communication is free. It doesn't cost us anything. So I think it's essential when it comes to marketing the club.
So you do one email a month. You always a lot of people have said like the same thing. As long as the emails are consistent, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. What are some easy things clubs can do to enhance their email marketing?
So I think just providing some information. So for example, for the month of February, we sent out an email, 5 things that we love about the club at Old Cypress. And then this sparks the attention. Oh my gosh, they love this. At the beginning of your season, before it gets started, wherever you are, just say, these are the things that we're looking forward to most at the club at Old Cypress, and highlight those, 5 of your favorite events. Providing more information, like testimonials, are huge. We do a lot of blog work, and we will do member features, member highlights on our blog, and really getting that story behind the member and the fact that they looked at different clubs to join, and this is why they chose us, is a huge selling point. And again, just getting that story out via email and letting the prospective members know why other people joined is huge. And I think the most important thing is photography. I'm a huge fan of photography. So I think really getting that image of the member who joined and showing your prospective members that, hey, they look just like you. You can fit in with us. That's really key. I think.
I'm more excited now about like the club world, because I was always like involved, but now I feel like it's like a different level. And like I come from like a very like entrepreneurial, like family business background. So I just love the marketing and business side. So now just talking to so now it's like my 2 favorite things are coming together. So it's like business, sales, and marketing. And like I love the private club world. So now it's just like, it's just, these talks are so fun.
Like a family.
It really is. Cause and it's, there really is no competition, because there's so much business out there, and that it's like, I always tell people, like, aren't you mad? Like they hired somebody else. I'm like, I'd rather them hire another magician than like a cover band or something. You know what I mean? I'd rather keep it like in the industry a little bit, assuming that they picked like, somebody good, obviously, but it's like, as long as they keep it in like our group, like it's good for all of us. Cause obviously they're probably going to do a good job, which means that they might not hire me, but like, as long as it's happiness. Like, I don't know, like it's good for like the magic world. Like same, like doesn't matter if they join your club or not, as long as they're part of a, hopefully a club that you're friendly with, that you like enjoy, like their people too. But it's like, hey, as long as they're having a good club experience somewhere, as long as it's a good experience.
There's something for everyone.
Yeah. So you're killing it in the club world. How did you get involved in the club world?
Well, I started as an interior designer, and that's kind of what I did after college. And then I dove into the club world, honestly, not knowing anything. And I think where I learned the most was we have an association down here, the Membership Directors of Southwest Florida, that just provides tremendous education on a monthly basis. And I really got involved with them. I was president of the organization and on the board for 7 years. And I think that it was truly from meeting people like you and talking to other people and guest speakers that we would have come that it just furthered my education and knowledge of the industry. I'm a huge fan of continuing education. So I'm an education junkie, and I love to attend conferences, anywhere. And I think I always draw inspiration, I think, as I had mentioned before, from outside of the industry. And I like to see how we can apply it to the club world. But yeah, I would say continuing education definitely is something I'm a fan of.
I also know you have some really cool products on your site. Social media success seekers for private club industry, the ultimate new member orientation. Speaking of education, can you talk a little bit more about those?
Yeah. So basically what I do is I do these live virtual masterclasses. And we just get together via Zoom, and I present to any club that wants to join from around the country. And it's great. We have, like you said, 20 different topics that we present on, and send out surveys seeing what is most popular, what is most trending at the moment. And it's really awesome to connect with so many industry professionals, because what they're doing in Florida is so different from what they're doing in Pennsylvania, or so different from what they're doing in New York. And taking that opportunity to kind of share what works for us has been so much fun. It's just my absolute passion, is sharing that education and sharing what works. And we have a really cool group. It's called the Inner Circle. And so, yes, it's fancy. Anyone that attends any of my virtual education, so you can do it just one class, you will get access to the Inner Circle on a year-round basis. And basically what that is it's a private mastermind that meets monthly for 30 minutes. And we just discuss, I really kind of want to say it, secrets and things that, we talk about salary, we talk about, we might not be happy at our club. How do we move on to the next club? But it really kind of is taking a membership professional and elevating them in their role at the club. And that group has truly become so near and dear to my heart. It's been amazing.
A little bit more about that, because that just sounds like a lot of fun. Like what else is involved with that? Because it's one of those, I just know the importance of like masterminds and stuff. So, what else is entailed with, because, 30 minutes doesn't seem like a lot, but you can get a lot done in 30 minutes when you're in a very collective, very specific niche there.
And that's the key. We focus on one topic. So for example, we will talk about the best event that took place at our club this year. And so we will go around the room and we'll present what the best event was. And that just spurs so much inspiration for us to be able to take back the things to our club that we might not have thought about. I'll never forget that one of the gals on my Inner Circle, she had said she does a new member charcuterie board making event. And I brought that to my club, and hands down, it has been the most popular event that we've had. We sell it out every year. It's only for our new members. And I would have never even thought of that if it wasn't for the Inner Circle.
Yeah, no, that is, like, I'm over here speechless. Like my arms are flailing. I'm like, this is that is such a good idea. because everyone wants to make a charcuterie board, but I have no idea how. Like, you see them on Pinterest and online, like, I can never do that. Like,
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What would you say is like a top hot tip or two to making a key charcuterie board?
You've got to get the salami rows down. It is all about the salami rows. And all you really need, champagne glass, and do not grab a wine glass. It's a champagne glass. And you take the little slices of salami and you put it around the rim. You flip it over and you have an absolutely gorgeous salami rose. Key.
You put your thing down, flip it in, and reverse it?
Yeah, that's it.
I was trying to make a Missy Elliott callback, but it's all good.
Yeah.
Okay. That is, that is such a great idea. Oh my God.
It's great. And I think the biggest thing is it gets some of our culinary staff in an intimate setting with our members, and it really shines a light on them. And they're behind closed doors cooking all the time. Nobody really knows who they are. And it really allows them the opportunity to shine. And it means just as much to them as it does to the new members. And there's that connection point right from the beginning. But again, if it wasn't for the inner circle, I would have never had that idea. And it's great. I mean, sometimes we welcome guest speakers on the show. So I know you and I were talking about James Cronk. He's actually coming on to the inner circle this week to talk about creating a positive member culture.
Ooh.
And he's fantastic. And other ideas that we've had are, for example, waitlist. Waitlists are a huge topic at clubs right now.
Huge.
Lots of clubs are reaching waitlists for the very first time. And so they're navigating that. And a lot of us don't know what we should do. For example, should we charge a deposit to be on the wait list? Should there be privileges if you are on the wait list? Do you get to golf at all? Is it just social privileges? And so being able to connect with clubs, some who have been on wait lists for many, many years, and hear what works for them. For a club that when wait lists are brand new, that has been key. And so, for example, if our topic on the inner circle is wait lists, just for 30 minutes, we really hone in on that topic and we get so much insight. I mean, it's amazing.
Man, it's one of those, I just really want to keep going because now that wait list has been such a hot topic. Everybody, I've talked to a lot of people at this point, making up these episodes, and no matter what we start talking about, wait lists almost always comes up in some capacity. It's absolutely wild. But listen, I feel like we have to save that for another time because there's so much more to talk about. You already graced us with a bunch of your time. Melissa, where can people check you out? Where's the best place to connect?
I'm very loud on LinkedIn, and I'm on Instagram as well. So Melissa Hansen, Melissa Hansen Official on Instagram. And if anyone wants to shoot me an email, I'm melissa@melissahansen.com. So it's pretty easy. I would love to.
And I'll make sure to put all those in the show notes and everything as well. But Melissa, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. I know you've been on in the past, but with me, I want to thank you so much for trusting me today and coming back on with a new host. And this will definitely not be the last time you are going to be on. This has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's so nice to finally connect with you, and congratulations.
Thanks. All right. That was another episode of Private Club Radio. Thank you so much again for tuning in. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Go follow us on the social medias. We are going to be on Instagram, LinkedIn, and we also have our private Facebook group, the Private Club Community. I'll put all those links in the show notes. We would appreciate any and all support. Please share the episode or any episode with your fellow colleagues or someone who you think would get some nuggets of information, because we really appreciate it. The more people who view our content, the more the algorithm says it's good, and the more we get to be in front of people helping more club managers and club professionals all over the world. Speaking of world, I know we have a lot of world listeners, so thank you all so much for listening in. And that's another episode of Private Club Radio. See you on the next one.